my name is Chloe. I'm the director who oversees our engagement teams here at Houzz. I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys today. I will kind of be the host, but I would also love to introduce you to Cameron. So Cameron, say hello.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining us. I'm happy to run through everything with you guys, and really looking forward to it.
Wonderful. All right. So before we dive into our agenda for today, just want to go over some quick housekeeping. So you should be able to see a Q&A option, I think over to the right side of your screen. So we would love for this to be as engaging as possible. So please feel free to ask all your questions. I will answer them as quickly as I can. And if anything is relevant for the whole audience, we will absolutely share that out so we can learn from each other. But our agenda for the day. So today we are going over all the basics of your account and some fundamentals just to ensure that the software and your program is working the best possible. So Cameron is going to dive through a lot of different things. But as a reminder, our agenda is going to cover setting up your account, our lead management best practices, customizing your lead sources from anywhere, including potentially Houzz, importing your leads from other sources, and then using our email marketing tool. And then lastly, we will have some dedicated time for Q&A if there's anything that we missed throughout the session. So that is the plan. All right. So Cameron, I will be happy to kick it over to you to get us started.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Let me get my screen share pulled up so we can all run through everything together. Cool. So where do we want to begin? Let's start with team members. So many of you guys will have team members that you guys want to have, their own individual logins to be able to access, their own back end of Houzz Pro. So with Houzz Pro here, you can actually give all of your team members individual accounts by coming up here into the settings area. And of course, you can click right into Teams right here, but you can also jump into the All Settings page as well. And we'll have this nice fun block for you as well. Cool. So let's walk through what it looks like to invite a team member account. So you'll see all of your activated team member accounts right here, anything that's pending as well. And if you're going to go ahead and add a new team member, all we'll have to do is click on this Invite Team Member option up here. It'll ask you to fill in some of their information. So maybe we're adding in Tony Stark today, and we could do tony@houzz.com. We can go ahead and click Next. Now, if you have pre-filled in roles where, team members, you always want them to have the exact same permissions, which I'll scroll down so we can check out some of them now. But, say all of your team members needed this particular settings, you can go ahead and assign that as a role. So the next time you add a team member with that same role, it'll automatically pull in those settings for you. Otherwise, you can customize each individual person if you'd like without a role. So just kind of going through some of the things that you can and cannot give permission to. So leads, if you want your team members to have access to leads, be it client communication, making proposals, make sure that you have those checked on. If you want them to have access into projects as well, which will be something that we will be covering on tomorrow's call, you'll want to make sure that you're jumping in here, giving them client communication, invoices, proposals, purchase orders. And it's especially important if you plan to invite a bookkeeper as a team member for your account. By default, these settings down here for QuickBooks integration, reports, time and expenses and rates are not turned on by default, which are the most important things for a bookkeeper. So make sure you come back in here and turn all of those on as well. And lastly, visual tools is the ability to make 3D floor plans and mood boards and things like that, which you guys will learn about a bit later on as well. Excellent. Cool. Once you go ahead and press invite, what's going to happen is it's going to send out an email to that user, and it's going to allow them to create their own individual Houzz Pro login. So you don't have to do any account sharing or anything like that. They can set up their own password and get started right away. Sweet. Next up here, we can jump straight into calendar integration. Calendar integration is actually one of my favorite things. It helps me, stay on top of my day-to-day and just makes scheduling out appointments quite a bit easier. So if you guys don't already utilize any form of calendar, meeting schedulers or anything like that, this is a fantastic tool. So again, just jump right back into it from settings under calendar. And I already have my calendar connected up here, but if this is going to be your first time connecting your calendar, there'll be a box right up at the top that'll let you link your calendar. And you can link anyone. You can link, your own personal Gmail, Outlook, iCloud, anything like that. And then you can set up some of your video conferencing integration options. So by default, we'll have Google Meet as well as 8x8 pre-built in for you back here. So if you do use a Gmail account, for instance, and your client is also using a Gmail account and sets up a video through this system, it can automatically create a Google Meet. But if you have, for instance, Zoom, which a lot of us do nowadays, and you want to add that as an integration, you can click Add Integrations up here at the top, click on the Zoom icon, and it'll ask you to sign in. And once you've signed into Zoom, you'll have this as a video conferencing option to choose from. So let's talk about what this is and, again, some of the benefits of it. So really what this calendar integration tool is a way for you to have a better time of scheduling out client meetings. So if you want to send an email out to one of your clients and say, hey, find a time that works best for you, and click on that, it's going to be a lot easier for them to set that up with you. They can do, again, phone call meetings, video meetings as well. And, you can make customs. So let's look at exactly what this would look like. So by default, we already have a phone call meeting, a video call meeting, 60 minutes right now, 30 minutes. Of course, we can start editing some of these. So for instance, if we want to jump into video call here, so right now its default setup is Google Meet. But if I did link my Zoom integration, we would see Zoom as an option right here. We can go ahead and set the length. So if I want these to be 30-minute blocks, we can say that this is going to be a 30-minute meeting here. And then when can clients schedule this event with you? So if you guys do, prefer to work Monday through Friday exclusively, you don't want to have Saturday and Sunday turned on, you can go ahead and deselect those, pick your start time and end times. And essentially what's going to be happening here is it's going to be scanning your connected calendar. So if it sees that there's nothing blocked off, at that 9:30 slot, for instance, it's going to recognize that that's open and available time for the client, and they'll be able to schedule a call. So let me show you what that looks like here. I'm going to go ahead and click this copy link button up here, and we'll paste this in. So this is exactly what it looks like from the client's view coming in after you've just sent them that link. So we can go ahead and press next right here at the bottom, and they can go through all of these different days to see times that are available here. And again, all based on the parameters that you've selected. So you'll notice nothing is available before 9 o'clock, nothing is available after 5 p.m. Once they click on that, they can go ahead and click next here, fill in their remaining details as well. And again, if it is one of those video meetings that's set up, what will happen is both parties will receive an email confirmation as well as a calendar invite. And inside of that calendar invite, again, there will be that Zoom link ready and waiting for you, or 8x8 link, Google Hangouts, whichever option you chose for that video meeting. And then for all
Cameron, we actually have a question in the audience.
Please.
I mean, you may be getting to this shortly, but Allie had asked, can you actually customize different hours for different days of the week?
Ooh, good question. So you can't have it for different days of the week, but what you can do if you want is you can custom make a different event that is available for different days. So if you wanted to have this event type name be called Monday meeting, you could go ahead and do that and have Monday be the only one that's checked off and select those times. But that's definitely great feedback. So I appreciate that, Allie, and maybe we can bring that up to our team. But I love that.
Yeah. And Allie, if you wanted to too, you could put manual blocks on your own integrated calendar. So if every afternoon on Tuesday and Thursday you're busy, you can manually block them off, and then our system will read that you're not available at those times. So just a couple options for you, but great question.
Absolutely. Love that as well. Perfect. And then the final noteworthy mention that I would say here is if you guys are on one of our Houzz Pro Ultimate plans and you guys do have the marketing going, you can also turn this on right here to promote video consultations on your Houzz profile. So for anybody that's coming to your profile, there will be this nice little banner box that says, schedule a video meeting with me here. So again, just another way that you can capitalize on this. Cool. Let's go ahead and move into our online payments then. So online payments, again, everything will be under this handy little settings cogwheel. And we'll go ahead and click continue setup. And what it'll do for the first time is it'll actually send you an email asking you to verify your business. Once you click on that link, you can bring it on over here and it'll just have you fill out some information. So our payment provider here is actually with Stripe. So if you come up here and click add details, it's going to ask you to fill in some of the details, name, a little bit about the business, etc. And as you continue through that there, you'll go ahead and get everything set up. It'll ask you then for your routing number, your account number as well. And it'll be available right away for online payments immediately. Now, after you've set the online payments up, this page, once you come back to it the next time, will look a little bit different. You'll have some setting options available. So let's talk about online payments a little bit further as far as like what settings are available. So with online payments, we do support both credit card as well as ACH in the United States specifically. For credit card, there is a transaction fee of 3.1%. And ACH has a 1% transaction fee. So nice and low, very competitive there. What you can then do as well, if you'd like to, is you can offset those transaction fees to the clients. And it will look really nice and professional on their screen. If they have two options pulled up in front of them, it'll see ACH, it'll say CC, and it'll show them clearly what the total is, what the total then is after the transaction fees are applied as well. And when you come again back to this settings page here, that's where you guys get to customize again whether or not you want that to be a default. Do you always want transaction fees by default to be offset to the client? Do you always want to have, ACH payment turned on as an option and credit card turned off as an option? Do you want to have credit card available as an option, but only up into a certain number, say $10,000, and then after $10,000, everything else has to be on ACH. There's a lot of different settings to play with, so you can definitely customize that and make it your own. Go ahead and close out of this here.
I think I have another question for you too, Cam.
Yes.
Sharia asked, does Houzz automatically put the transaction fee on the invoice, or how can that be customized?
Yeah, good question. So it is not on the invoice at all, nor does it go through any of Houzz Pro's system in regards to reporting or anything like that. You won't see that at all. If it is outbound, or rather if it's going to the client, they will see it when they are in that paying screen on the document. And then if it's something that you are electing to not offset to the client, that transaction fee will just be subtracted out of the payout that you receive as a deposit from Stripe into your bank account. Cool. Anything that you want to add on that, Chloe?
Nope, that's perfect. We do have another question though.
Yes, keep them coming.
Diane asked, can a client pay by Venmo? We know that's a popular one now.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that's something that we'll be covering in tomorrow's meeting a little bit further in depth. But yes, you can manually log payments on documents that you would create inside of Houzz Pro. So if you do not want to utilize online payments, but you still want to take advantage of everything that Houzz Pro has to offer from a project management side, you can definitely still take Venmo payments and record those. Excellent.
Thanks, Cam.
Yep, absolutely. So then let's go ahead and jump into leads. And there's a lot to break down here with leads. So what is leads? So within Houzz Pro, leads are thought of as potential clients. They are not closed projects yet. So this is a good place to keep all of your leads here and organized, so you know what communications are still happening, take notes and all of that as well. So this is what the page will look like when you first load it up. I have a couple of leads in here already, but let's talk about how we can actually get some of the leads in here. So again, if some of you guys are already on Houzz Pro Ultimate and you guys are taking advantage of some of the marketing, those Houzz leads will automatically get placed in here for you. So hassle-free, it just gets dropped right in here. But if you say get a message, on Facebook or any other platform that you're utilizing, but you want to be able to message them from within inside of Houzz Pro, or rather email them from inside of Houzz Pro, so everything is in one place, you can manually bring those leads into the system. So a couple of different ways that you can do that. You can jump up here to add lead. And one great thing is import from email. So say you were emailing one of your potential clients back and forth, and you just wanted to simply bring that email thread into Houzz Pro. You can jump right up in here, grab this forwarding email, forward that thread to this email address, and it will automatically recognize your email and create the lead for you. Again, for this to work out properly, though, it does have to be the admin account's email address. So team members can't do this at this time. So whoever is the admin user, it has to be their email address that's forwarding it for that to take place. But if you want to add a lead without forwarding, you can absolutely do that as well. You can come up here and click Create New Lead, and go ahead and give it a new lead name. So let's just say this was going to be Tony's bathroom. You can go ahead and enter it in right there. If the client is already in your system, you can search for them. So if I'm searching for Tony, I can find Tony right here. But if Tony didn't exist yet, we can just click Add More Details, and we can go ahead and fill in all of Tony's information. I already have Tony built in here, so it's all going to auto-populate for me. But again, if it didn't, you can fill all that information in and it'll create Tony as a contact for you to keep for the future. Excellent. Cool. And awesome. I'm actually going to close that out here. Excellent. Actually, one last thing that I forgot to mention. When you are inside of here, one of the amazing things that you can do is you can to help better stay organized, you can give everything a lead source. So again, this is where you're going to outline exactly where that lead was coming from. So if it was a client referral, if it was from another professional that was referring to you, Houzz, if you got it from Google Ad, again, here's Facebook. So a lot of these are pre-populated for you here, but if you want to add something custom in here, so say it might have been from maybe Yelp as an example, we can click this Manage Lead Sources option down at the bottom, and we can go ahead and pick which option type is closest or most relevant. So maybe digital media, for instance, and we could say Yelp. Go ahead and add that in right here. So now we have Yelp as an option to choose from. So when I jump back in here under lead source, here's Yelp. And the benefit of having all those lead sources, again, is it's going to be one of these things that shows up on this overview page. So you can quickly look and see where it is, or you can even sort by that. So if you wanted to make all of the Yelp, leads at the top, followed by, Facebook and then Houzz, etc., you can sort it by lead source to make things a little bit easier. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about leads and the benefit of, why should I have leads in here? What's the value out of having everything inside of one place? So of course, that right there, everything is in one place so you can better stay organized. But what's really amazing is when you jump into one of these leads here, you're going to see a lot of additional tools pop up. So, and actually let me jump into one that I know has an email in here. So let's go into New Home from Jack Sparrow. And so if the client's email is already linked to this lead, we can go ahead and message them back and forth, and they will actually receive an email. So it's not going to necessarily be like a Houzz messaging back and forth. It will be emailing on the client's end. So don't worry about that. They don't need to have like a Houzz account or anything like that to message you back and forth. They will be receiving emails. Now, one question that I always get is what email is that coming from? What email is going out to the client? And it is a proxy email that we have there. So it's not your direct email that it's coming from, but we do use a proxy email so that the conversation, as they reply back to it, can auto sync in here. So what can you do inside of a lead? Well, there's a couple of different things. Again, the major focal point here is going to be messaging back and forth. That's primarily, what you're doing before you've closed a client. So going back and forth with messaging, you can actually customize their lead stage as well. So if you're in that follow-up stage, you've sent a message back. If they've sent a message back to your message, you guys are connected. You can go ahead and tell the system when you've scheduled a meeting as well, or even if you've sent out a proposal. And one great thing with all of these leads as well is you can go ahead and assign out the lead to different team members. So if I wanted to come back in here and assign this to my team member, Bruce, excellent. Bruce will now see when he's on the all leads page. If he scrolls over and looks at this little icon right here, he'll be able to quickly look at which leads are assigned to him for him to be following up on. Cool. So what else can you do inside of one of these leads? Well, outside of messaging, you also have this back-end internal notes section. So these back-end notes are not shared with the client at all. So if you need to, remember a particular element, like Jack likes X, Y, and Z, or, remember this, etc., you can link that note back here. And again, this note section is visible for yourself as the admin, as well as any team member accounts. So keeping everything organized in one place on one lead. Same thing with files. If you go ahead and upload files back here, this file section is not shared with the client at all. It's just if you need to have something linked to this lead that you might need to come back to later on, or want one of your team members to also have access on. Cool. So I'm going to actually back up here really quick and look at it from this bird's eye view. So here we have all of our active leads. And if you are utilizing this to its fullest potential, really what this active section is supposed to be is anything that you are still attempting to work on. And if it's something that's no longer relevant to you, we'll definitely want to clean things up. So as an example, if this one was a year back, and it shouldn't be in the active section anymore, we can hover over it. We'll see the 3 dots pop up here, and we'll be able to either delete it, archive it, edit it, snooze it. I'll always recommend archiving over deleting, just because you'll still always have everything that belongs to that lead. Whereas if you delete it, it's gone forever and there's no getting it back. So definitely archive it. And once you go ahead and archive it, you can essentially explain to the system why you're archiving it. So if it wasn't a good fit, if you were unable to reach somebody, lost other, etc. So we can say that this one was scope, not a fit, and press save. We'll go ahead and skip that here. And now if I want to access this at any time in the future, I have this archived leads section. So again, this is great to make sure that those leads that you're no longer working on are still at least in the system and those messages are retained, etc. Cool. And then from this same exact page as well, if you forgot to update the stage while you were inside of the lead, you can do it right here as well, just by clicking the drop-down arrow on any of them. You can say move it up to the followed up stage, connected, meeting schedule as well. So an amazing place to just keep everything organized and all in one. The final noteworthy mention that I would give is actually the ability to customize what some of these messages look like here. So at the bottom, you'll see this option where you can click preview. And we have a couple of different routes here. We have a default, a clean, and a branded. I would definitely recommend to everybody checking out the branded one. I'll go ahead and click preview here just so we can get a quick idea. So this is essentially what it will look like in the email when you're sending it out. It'll always have the business name up at the top. And these will be linked back to your Houzz profile. So if you already have your About Us connected in your Houzz profile, the link back to your profile, the link to your Houzz reviews, and essentially what that message is right here. Cool. I'll pause for a second. Chloe, did we get any notes or comments, questions from the lead section?
I think that I got most of them, but keep the questions coming. They're really good. So feel free to ask away, and Cam will interrupt you as they come in.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely keep those questions coming in. I'm going to actually segue the conversation over to our email marketing topic then. And then if we want to circle back on any lead questions that come in later on, we can definitely do that. But very good. So email marketing, I'm super excited about. This is actually our latest product launch here. It just came out about a month back. So if you have it up here, it's going to be under marketing and then email marketing at the top. So what is email marketing? Email marketing is your way to stay connected with clients and send out mass bulk emails to a set list of your choice. So let me make that make sense. We can go ahead and jump in here and click into templates just so it can help make sense of this. So you can have your own customized templates as well, but we also have some Houzz Pro templates. So here's some of the things that other professionals are currently utilizing when they're making email marketing campaigns to share with their clients. So maybe you want to customize a review request newsletter. You want to have a nice email for scheduling a consultation, a holiday greeting, project spotlight, or monthly news and updates. These are some of the things that you can get inspiration from and do and share with your clients. Let's just say we're doing a monthly news and updates one. I actually have one here that I made last month for May newsletter. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click duplicate. And maybe this one's going to be for June. And we're creating this one in advance. So we'll go ahead and create that here. And what pulls up is a whole suite of tools for you to just fully customize how you want this email to look when you ship it out. And there's a lot of different ways to view it as well. So right now, by default, its view is the desktop view. But if you want to see what it would look like if you sent this email to a client and they're viewing it on their mobile phone, you can go ahead and click that mobile box right down here at the bottom so you can get a quick idea. But awesome. So this whole page here is fully customizable. If you're starting out with a template and you enjoy what the template looks like, that can be easy to just sub in content or swap out. So for instance, if this was the logo and it was going to stay the same, you can keep that there. But maybe we want to change out this photo for our next newsletter. So all you have to do is click on it right up here at the top, and you'll be able to upload a new image, drag and drop that in if you already have that saved on your computer or desktop. And same process here with everything else. If you want to customize any of the text here at the top, just click straight into it. You can choose the colors of everything on the right-hand side. You can choose what font you want it to be. You can choose the style, the size, bold, italics, underline, you name it. And even for buttons like read more here. If you have a URL to an offsite blog post, for instance, or anything like that, you can actually copy and paste that URL, and this URL will then be linked to that read more box. This is also really handy as well for schedule a free consultation buttons. Jumping back to linking your connected calendar at the beginning of our conversation here, you can actually grab that connected calendar link and drop it right into a box just like this so that people can schedule out a meeting with you very easy from this post that you're emailing out to them. Awesome. And again, like I was saying here, this is meant to be fully customizable. So far, I've just been kind of talking about changing stuff that exists that's already pre-built in. But if you want to customize and add something in here, say you want to bring an image in, we have this full content section over here on the right-hand side where you can bring right in an image slot right into the middle of it and have a nice blown up full-size image of anything of your choosing. If you want to link in some of the socials at the bottom, if that wasn't already there, add in a custom box for video, or even have like a side-by-side column. Maybe you guys are introducing a new team member to the staff and you want to have a picture of somebody on the left and text on the right-hand side. A lot of cool creative things that you can do. You can customize what those blocks look like as well. So again, this is kind of talking about that split left and right, but you can also do, a 3 split or even more. So you can definitely get creative with everything here. And again, just fully customizing this. So if you want to change what the background color is, right now it's white, but if we wanted that to be green for whatever reason, blue, you can tell I'm definitely not a designer, but you can definitely customize and pick and choose, what colors you want to have associated to this, if any, and get it down to, where you want it to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and click Save Template. So we have the template created here. What's next is customizing the list of clients that we want to send this out to. So once we jump into lists over here at the bottom, we can go ahead and click Create an Email List. We can call this one here June Clients, Create List. And we'll want to go ahead and start adding people into this section. So we'll click Add New Contact right here at the top. If it's somebody that isn't added to your system quite yet, you can click that Create New Contact option right in here, and you can add them as a client. Otherwise, if you already have them in your client list, I'm going to go ahead and click Add from Existing List right here, and we will jump into our clients list, and I can start adding in some of these folks down here. Click Done. Awesome. So now we have our June clients list created. We have our templates list created. The next thing is shipping it out. So what we'll do is we'll jump into campaigns. We'll click Create Campaign. We'll pick from the templates here. So I'm going to jump over to My Templates. We'll grab that June newsletter that we already created here. We'll give it the campaign name. So we'll call this one again, June Newsletter. Campaign type here. This one here is going to be, let's do newsletter. Click Create. Now it's going to pull it up for any final editing and revisions that needs to be done. So you'll see here at the bottom, audit. This is something that you want to make sure is filled out. So if you click on that, it'll tell you what's missing. So if you forgot to add like a hyperlink, for instance, to read more, those will pop up right here. So I'm missing some alternate text on a couple of the photos here. So it's showing me these right here. So say, for instance, my logo up here. If I need to add alternate text as logo, we'll go ahead and save that there, close that. And we'll want to make sure that we do that with all of the other ones as well. Awesome. After you've finished customizing everything and it's good to go, we can click Continue to Send, and we'll get a couple of different send options available. So if you can and you want to, one method that you can do is you can actually sync your Houzz Pro account with a Google, if your email is Gmail, and this newsletter will be sent out from your email address. Alternatively, if you don't want that or you don't have a Gmail account, it'll actually, I'll go ahead and disconnect mine right here. It'll actually get sent from a more generic email. So just showing you what it would send from Cameron.hey plus design2@houzz.com, or actually, let me disconnect that there. But yeah, it would send out from a more kind of generic email address. So if you're okay with that, then you can do that. If you want to connect your Gmail, again, definitely recommend doing that. You can go ahead and set that up and have everything synced in. So I'm just reconnecting mine right now. Excellent. Send to recipients. We can go ahead and select that June list that we just created a moment ago. And we can go ahead and give it an email description. So we can, again, call this one our June newsletter. And if we want to add a pre-header as well, that's optional, but we do have 160 characters for that. And then last but not least, we do have the ability to test sending the email. So if you want to enter in your own personal email or a team member's email, and send that out to yourself, you can do that really quick first. Otherwise, if you know it's good to go, you can just click that send campaign button right up at the top right here. And once you've sent those campaigns out, I'm going to exit out of this one and go back to one of the other ones that we have in here. The May, for instance, I sent it to one individual here, and you can actually track how many times it's been opened. So for instance, if I sent it to 10 people and I saw that 8 people opened it, I'll be able to see those particular statistics. And it'll also tell me, if they clicked on any content, like hyperlinks inside of that newsletter as well. Now, it doesn't give very detailed analytics as far as these are the 8 people that opened it and these are the 2 people that didn't. But it will kind of give you a more broad idea of how many people opened the email that you sent them. But awesome. I'm super happy that we were able to finally roll this out. Very, very excited about it. And very, very thrilled. But I'm going to kick things back over to you, Chloe, and see if you have any questions on this. I know I went through a lot without pausing.
Yeah, no. We do have actually maybe a question. If you wouldn't mind going back into the leads tool.
Of course.
Jessica had asked, is there a way to capture emails to our own webpage? Like, is there a pop-up that Houzz provides that you can embed on your website, if I'm understanding correctly? Or how would you utilize that? So I think the best option, Jessica, for what you're describing is we actually have some extra time. So one, I would love if we could show like our Houzz hosted website. But if you have a great website already, what you can do is you can actually forward emails from your email client. So I imagine that they might funnel into your inbox right now to alert you. And there's an easy way to forward it into your Houzz CRM. So that's what Cameron is showing you now. So hopefully that can be a helpful tool. It's really simple.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you wanted me to talk a little bit about the websites as well, I can. I don't want to get too off topic, but just let me know.
Actually, there's a lot of questions in here.
Cool.
So let me see. Let me funnel through these. Can you use the email marketing kind of that you just displayed for Facebook posts is one question.
Ooh, good question. At the moment, no, they are currently sent out exclusively through email, but I would actually love to see that implemented too. So we'll take that feedback.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. We get a lot of comments on wanting to integrate with social media. So that's something we're exploring. Let's see. And then Renata asked to add links, I think, again, into the email marketing. Is it just a simple copy paste?
Yep, it is a simple copy paste. I'll open that up here really quick just so we can check that out one more time. So you'll want to make sure that you first click on what you want to add a link to. So again, if it's that read more button right here, when you click on it, you'll see the ability to add that URL. And at the top, I already added it in here. Otherwise, it would just be empty right here. And then again, same thing for everything else. All of these read more boxes, you'll be able to click on and customize. Good question.
Yes. All right, there's more.
Let's do it.
Garcia, she asked, can I send an email from my personal business email account for email marketing?
If it is hosted through G Suite is the key. Mm-hmm. So if you have your own custom domain, it's not at gmail.com. As long as your custom domain email is through G Suite, which is the Google host, you can link that. If it's not through G Suite, not quite yet. We only have it linked with Gmail at the moment.
Yes, great.
But you can still send it. Yep, you can still send it. It'll just come from a more generic email. Yes,
great. Okay, and then I see a couple other questions. I will absolutely get to those. But it would be great, Cameron, since we do have some extra time, I think it would be useful to see, some of the other components of Houzz, as far as like some of the premium marketing features that some of them may have access to if they don't know about it, as well as websites. If someone doesn't have one, I know that can be an added expense among everything else. And a website is included in all of your subscriptions. So if you're thinking about, hey, I need to spend some time working on a website design, Houzz actually has a solution for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for bringing that up. Let's just do a quick kind of recap of that. So where I'm at right now is under marketing, and we have your website. So if you don't have a website built out by Houzz specifically, you can come here to check out an idea of what some of them can look like. Now, I would want to iterate that all of these websites can be fully custom. So you don't have to just pick and choose a template and just work within those parameters. You can start from a template and really just venture off in whatever direction you want. And I think that the coolest thing here as well is you can actually come down here and we have this schedule a consultation button. So if you don't want to create the website at all, but you browse through some of the templates and you're like, I really like birch, or I really like the soapstone template, you can come down here, click schedule a consultation, and it's going to have you fill out one of our design briefs. So it's going to ask you if you currently have a website. Yes, I do. No, I don't. And I want one of the Houzz experts to build one for me. If you already have an existing domain that you want to link to this website, you can enter that in right here. Otherwise, if you want Houzz to go out and secure a domain for you, we'll happily do that. Just let us know a couple of your domain choices. And then as you're kind of going through and clicking next and next, it'll ask you some of your particular preferences in style. It'll ask you to, upload your logo in advance. And at the end, it'll actually have a calendar option to schedule out a consultation with one of our website designers, which is amazing. They're honestly fantastic. They'll be able to, again, fully build out the website for you, as well as, make edits on the fly as well. And best of all is, there's no additional fees for any of what I was mentioning here, as long as you're on one of our Houzz Pro Essential or Houzz Pro Ultimate packages. No fees for building the website, consultation, none of it. So let me jump into one of them just so we can kind of check one of them out here. And this will kind of jump back to one of the other questions that we had before. So this one's soapstone, but maybe we want to jump into silk. If we go ahead and click contact here, one of the questions that we had before was, if I have leads that come through my website, can I get those into Houzz Pro? We kind of talked about the workaround, but what's amazing is if you have one that's built out by Houzz and they submit the contact form in here, this is synced with Houzz and your back end of Houzz Pro. So when they fill this out back here, it does automatically create that lead for you in your Houzz Pro Center. So that can be one thing to check out and keep in mind. I honestly got to say my favorite part about the websites that we have with Houzz is that they are connected with your Houzz profile. So if you upload a new project to your Houzz profile, you organize your photos and everything like that, you bring that project up to the top of your profile. Whatever you're doing on your Houzz profile, it's also doing on your website. So you're not having to constantly upload new photos to Houzz, but then also upload it to your website or send those photos to somebody, to do it for your website for you. Like you do it on your profile and it gets done automatically for you on your website. And a review section as well. If you add a review section to your website, these are your Houzz reviews. That's one option. So if you want it to sync your Houzz profile reviews and you get a new review on your profile, those reviews will automatically come in here. So again, just such a time saver. So you're not having to update multiple things, all these profiles and a website.
Yes, amazing. Cameron, would you mind going back to show how you got to this navigation of looking at the website builder?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
hover over marketing at the top, and then you can just click your website.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cameron, I'm wondering if on your demo account, if you scroll down a little bit, all the way to the bottom, some of you are asking, how can you get one? How can you get Houzz to help you build a website? So you can just click this button that says schedule a consultation, and our team is happy to help. They are phenomenal. We're going to ask you a couple questions about what you would like to see in your new website. I see Cheryl, you asked a question about how you have one currently hosted on Wix. So maybe, again, if you want to save that expense or you want to give it an update or a refresh, you can actually include maybe some inspiration websites that you like or your current website that you're trying to copy as close to as possible, but what you would like to see improved. And then our designers can use it as a reference point. So that would be how you can get a consultation if you're interested. But yeah.
Absolutely. And I've seen instances in the past too where people have really enjoyed what their website currently looks like. And so they had tasked our website designers to like recreate what that one looks like, built in with our toolbox. And there was a couple of them there where I was like, am I on the same page? But they actually did so good at recreating those websites. So if you've recently redone your website and you just really like your aesthetic of it, we can do our best to recreate that. But if it's time for a full redo, a full refresh, you can go that route too. Whatever your preference is, our web designers are happy to do it.
Yep. So once you click that link, you answer those questions. It pops up to book a time. And then you meet with a designer over Zoom and you go over your brand new website and they help kind of make edits and different things that you would like to see live with you on the spot. So it's a really great experience. But yeah. All right. Cam, I think that, again, with time, I would love if you don't mind popping over into just like Houzz in general, maybe giving them an example. Maybe I can let you find one of like a company highlight video. I know it's a really cool feature that some of our professionals get excited about on just houzz.com.
Sure. Yeah. Let me pull up.
I don't know if you have one at your fingertips.
I could definitely get one here. Let me get this pulled up.
Okay. And while you're doing that, maybe I can also just explain, because sometimes there's, a little bit of confusion. So we got, the greenhouse, when you see a green logo, and that's your public facing profile. And everyone has one where you can upload like your portfolio images, you can get your great reviews. And there's also some kind of premium features that Cameron's going to show to you in a minute. So that's the difference between like the greenhouse, which is your profile, and Bluehouse, where you can manage your business. So both are really great tools that you have at your disposal. But on the greenhouse platform, that's where you want to upload anything that like a potential client may see, or that you want to send to someone who's thinking about choosing you over maybe another designer. Just another great example above and beyond maybe like just your website alone.
Yep. So right now we are on Houzz. Again, that green logoed one, as opposed to Houzz Pro, like what Chloe's mentioning here. So some of the premium features that you can utilize on your profile if you are on one of these Houzz Pro programs, like Chloe was highlighting, is a highlight video. So I'm going to click preview public profile really quick, just so we can see this particular profile from the homeowner's lens. And we'll see that highlight video is right here at the top of the page. So clients can actually click into that here. And this is just meant to, let me turn this down here. This is meant to just be a quick, anywhere from 30 seconds to maybe a minute long, highlighting the business. So having some slides that are dedicated exclusively to some of your favorite photos. But after that as well, maybe talking about, how many reviews you have on your page and highlighting a particular review. And to top it all off, right up at the end here, having a call to action at the end, making sure that you have your phone number attached and people can reach out to you. Now, this one is something that can be shared out, on your Facebook pages, for instance. So if you created it here on your Houzz profile, but also wanted to make a post on Facebook, you can definitely share those out as well. Cool. Well, let me talk about like how you can customize and edit that. So by default, a lot of you guys will probably already have a highlight video created for you. Our computer will, may have already created one automatically and picked and chose some of the photos from your profile, but you guys always have full control over what's on that highlight video. So anytime you are on your profile back here, and again, how you get to your profile is clicking the Your Houzz at the top right. Anytime you click on that right here, you'll be able to click into the highlight video. We can click edit, and from here, it's going to be very similar to editing, like a PowerPoint presentation or anything like that. We can jump into any of the individual slides that we want to make an edit to. So say it was this particular slide. If we wanted to change the background photo here, we can click change content. it'll pull up all of the projects that you already have uploaded on your Houzz profile. So you can then pick and choose a different photo to swap in its place. And let me back up here. Let's just say you were wanting to swap out the review, for instance. If we didn't want this particular review and we wanted to choose a different one, we can select a different client, and we can pick and choose what portion of the review we want brought in right up here. So just highlighting that in and then clicking apply afterwards would bring that particular review in. And then when you're good and you're ready with it, you can go ahead and click that publish button, and it'll take about 5 or so minutes to create that video and post it onto the profile for you. Outside of the highlight video, there are a couple of other amazing profile highlights that you can add to your page to help you stay competitive and stand out. So a couple of those things are going to be right up here, actually called standouts. So if you see this little pencil icon right here, you can actually pick and choose 3 standouts that you want to have attached to your profile. So we have some options here available. If you've ever won one of the Best of Houzz awards, you can go ahead and add that in here. Published nationally, custom work, but there's a lot of other things in here too. So if you want to highlight that you do online consultations, if you want to shout out X amount of years in business, if you speak additional languages, family owned, etc., available on weekends, award winning, high end. These are things that you can add to the profile, and these will kind of be highlighted everywhere you go. So if a client is in the Find a Professional directory of Houzz, they can actually filter by those things or even see those things connected to your profile preview. And then one other major shout out that I would give is actually the ability to feature a review. So as we know, reviews, they are default coming in chronologically, meaning a review that you got, that could be hidden all the way down here, could be your favorite, but could potentially start getting buried. So if that was this review, for instance, and you wanted to bring this up to the top of the page, you can go ahead and click feature this review. And that will go ahead and link up right at the top of the review section. And that'll also be visible when people are browsing profiles again in that Find a Professional directory. One important thing about featured review is you have to pick one. You can't pick multiple to have at the top. So it is just one that you want to be right at the top of the page. But excellent. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cam. Super helpful. We have one other question on the website, actually. So I think it's a good one that I want to make sure is relevant for everyone. So I know some of us may be very deep into our careers. Others may be just starting out, maybe don't have that really well built out portfolio of work yet. If you are interested in the website, we do have some stock photo options and templates that work well if you don't have a lot of imagery yet. So that is still 100% an option for you. There was actually also a call out on having like a custom URL. Absolutely. They're not like Houzz URLs. You can have anything that you'd like as long as it's available. So if you have one that you've purchased already and we just need to redirect it to a new website, great. Or if Houzz can help you purchase one, we're here for that too. So we can help you do everything end to end on the website or of course with managing your business. But in these last couple moments here, maybe while I'm getting all the rest of the questions, so make sure to funnel those in so we can answer all of those live for you. Cameron, I'd love for you to point out all the different ways that they could get help, where they can find some resources. I know, of course, you guys are taking advantage of being here, which is awesome. But there are a lot of other tools too at your disposal if we're not here live.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for pointing that out here. So let me go ahead and refresh this here. Cool. So if you are looking for additional support, we have a ton of different ways that you can get assistance. So you'll want to make sure first that you navigate back to Houzz Pro. And if you have a Houzz Pro Ultimate plan, you will have a dedicated client success manager. So for the profile that we're looking at here, I am their client success manager. So you'll be able to see my information up at the top. Or again, if you have a client success manager for your business, you'll see their information right here. You can also schedule a meeting easily with your client success manager just by clicking that help icon and you'll see a schedule a call button right below their contact information. So you can jump in there and schedule out a meeting. Us as client success managers are more than happy to do one-on-one demos, help set anything up with you guys, work on the profile together, you name it. So if you want to have that dedicated one-on-one time and you have a client success manager, please reach out to us. Otherwise, if you are looking for a different layer of support, we also have access into calling into our client support team. So that's this number right in here, and you'll get connected with the first available representative. So something a little bit quicker and speedy. And then finally as well, we do have our help center. So I'm going to click in here just so we can kind of check that out really fast. You can search for all kinds of articles in here or even browse by particular topics. So if it was related specifically to, we could do marketing and advertising. Oops, did I click on that leaf icon? I did. Yep. Let me jump in here. There's a ton of different articles in here. Otherwise, if you're looking for one particular thing, if it were related to proposals, we can go ahead and type in proposal at the top and it'll show us a lot of different articles that are relating to proposals. But let me jump back out here. So that's the Help Center. We also have this amazing video tutorials page. Our team has done a phenomenal job of putting together quick videos that are, more bite size. So it's all organized here. So if you're looking for, client communication type, you can click on that. It'll bring you down to that section. And here's a 4-minute video, a quick 3-minute video, a 2-minute video. So if you're looking for more bite-sized videos, there's so many in here and they're constantly getting updated. New ones are being added in here as well. So again, I'm so happy that our team has been able to put this amazing resource together. And then the final noteworthy mention is actually submitting a support inquiry. So right in that same help box up at the top, you can click submit a support inquiry, select a topic. So we have a ton of different topics. If you're looking for help with QuickBooks Online integration, for instance, you're looking for help with online payments, something to do with like proposals, managing leads, website services. So say you wanted to make updates to your site. You can go ahead and just type in right in here the particular update. Like I want to add an awards page to my website. You can go ahead and fill that in. It'll create a ticket for you. It'll be automatically connected to one of our website designers. They'll follow up with you. They'll try to get more information from you like, hey, do you have particular links that you want on that page? Do you have particular photos that you want on that page? And they'll work with you via email from there. So a ton of different ways to get support.
Amazing. Thank you so much. A couple other things to point out. You'll see in the bottom of Cam's screen, there's a contact support. So there's also a live chat during our normal business hours, which we're going to be expanding here shortly to help all of you. So that is an option that you have. Of course, the more thorough you are with what you need, the faster we can be. And then separately over on the help icon too, Cameron, if you wouldn't mind just dropping down into the Learn Center. Like we mentioned, there's a ton of great resources here. So this one I especially love. It has a lot of different success stories, but also you can learn from other industry professionals on how they use Houzz Pro, where they found success. So this is another just really great one. And of course, you can format that in any way of what you'd like to see as far as content. So looking at webinars, videos, tutorials, and that's where this session will probably live because we're recording this and that will be live for you too. All right. And then a couple other questions. Oh, Cheryl sounds like she submitted a support inquiry and she got her question answered really promptly. So I'm glad. Yes, we try to be as fast as we can. And then Renata, QuickBooks, that is available only in the USA right now. We are working on Canada, I promise. It's a little complicated, but hopefully we'll get there soon.
Yep.
But please continue to post any questions that you have. But I do want to just kind of go over some last minute little details with you guys as far as the progress of our upcoming Academy session. So obviously this is our first session over the next 3 days. We have more in store for you. So if you have not registered yet, please do. But tomorrow we're hosting a 2-hour deep dive on project management, which is going to cover our Clipper, best practices for proposals, invoicing, scheduling payments, retainers, our project tracker, the power of the client dashboard to give some visibility into what's going on, really make for a stellar client experience. So that is tomorrow for day 2. And then on day 3, on Thursday, we're going to be wrapping up with taking kind of a deep dive into our 3D floor planning tool, our mood boards. I'm going to kind of see if I can show you a sneak peek of something that's coming soon that's not yet launched. And then we're also going to be running through time and expenses, tasks, our Gantt chart and timeline, as well as running reports. So there's a lot. It's comprehensive in Houzz, but please make sure that you register for those separate events if you want to get more of a further deep dive. So thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. And I'm glad that we wrapped up early so you can get back to hopefully your busy lives. But we will be sending you a follow-up email. So if you have any extra questions, of course, we'll provide all the resources there in that email as well as this recording. But now Cameron has showed you how you can also get help through your Houzz Pro portal. So we hope that you guys have a fantastic day. And thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.